Hello and welcome to Simple Country Place. I have 4 easy real-life meal ideas for you today. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching. Please subscribe, welcome, and enjoy. So the first thing I'm making is going to be weird, but bear with me. Broccoli mac and cheese with summer sausage. So I had some summer sausage there that I was just frying up to crisp, and now I'm starting on the mac and cheese bit. So I have melted butter, I'm adding flour to make a roux, and half and half. And then for seasonings, I will be adding pepper, minced onion, cayenne powder, ground mustard, and parsley. And most days I have like a vague idea of what I want to make. This day I had zero clue, and I got home earlier than I thought I was going to, so my husband's like, hey, can you make some dinner quick? I mean, it was later than we usually eat, but so I was like, yeah, I can, and I had like zero clue of what I was going to make. So my nephew wasn't home, and I love mac and cheese, and my husband does too, and so I was like, I want to make some mac and cheese stuff. And then I had some summer sausage in the fridge, so I added that, and I know it seems weird, but my husband really liked it, and of course the mac and cheese is always delicious. And I don't know I have strong feelings. Like when I was younger in high school and college, I loved like boxed mac and cheese, and now to me that stuff is garbage. Like I won't even eat it. It's homemade or nothing, but you know, it's just personal preferences, I guess. So once I get all of those seasonings in there mixed together, I am adding cheese melt, or like the off-brand of Velveeta. And as you can see, I'm super safely cutting it right in my hand, but it's a butter knife, can't do that much damage. And just kind of babysitting that, waiting for the cheese to melt once that's all added. I had some broccoli cooking, just boiling on the stove there. And I did end up adding like a little bit more half and half once the cheese is melted, because it was just a little too thick. So that is what I'm doing here. And then I will be adding some cooked pasta. I just had some shells that I had made, and adding that in. And then I add the broccoli in. And to my husband's, I added that cooked summer sausage, but I just had broccoli, mac and cheese. Super balanced dinner meal, but it was very good. And I could eat mac and cheese like 5 times a week, so. On this night, I'm making chicken and like onion gravy. And so I have 2 chicken breasts there that I seasoned with salt and pepper. I cooked those through, and then I removed them from that pan and just kind of let them hang out while I make the gravy aspect. So to that same pan, I'm adding butter and an entire onion that I had sliced up, and then I'm going to let that onion like cook down just in that same pan for a while. So once the onion has cooked for a while, I'm adding like chicken broth. I used bouillon cubes, so a couple of those, and then a smidge of water, and then I'm scraping like the flavor bits from the bottom there, and then adding some flour because this will be like our gravy, so it needs to thicken a little bit. So adding some flour, mixing that around, letting that cook for a bit, and then the rest of the water for like the bouillon aspect. For flavor and seasonings, I am adding Worcestershire sauce, or I can't pronounce that. And onion and garlic powder, and cayenne pepper and paprika. And then I just covered that and let it simmer to thicken up. And I will be serving that. I serve that with obviously the chicken over mashed potatoes and a side salad. And both of the men, my nephew and my husband, liked this. So these last two meals were my nephew's favorite for this week. So this night I'm making like an enchilada bake, or some people call it like layered enchiladas, enchilada casserole, whatever you want to call it. But I'm starting off with making just taco meat. So I have ground beef there, browning it up with a diced up onion and some bell peppers. And then like at this point I'm adding cumin. The meat is obviously already partially cooked, but I'm adding cumin for seasoning to help it cook the rest of the way. Not help it, but cook with it the rest of the way. Once that meat is cooked through, I drained and rinsed a can of black beans. So I'm adding that in, and then I'm adding my taco seasoning and water to let the taco meat come together. And this is like a super easy peasy meal too. Like, I know I make a lot of like Tex-Mex stuff, but that's what we enjoy. So I like to come up with different ways of having the same flavor, but not just having tacos once a week. So to a prepared baking dish, I am just layering. So I have that green enchilada sauce, and then I'm also mixing in our favorite taco Ortega taco sauce with the layers. So layer of that sauce on the bottom just to help with the sticking, and a tortilla shell. We like the flour ones, and then some of that meat mixture, and then shredded cheese, and then start it all over again. Another tortilla, and then more meat and more cheese, and so on and so forth. I did, like halfway through the layers, I did add more of both the sauces, and then at the very top I just covered it with one more tortilla shell, and then cheese, and then the rest of the sauces. And then I covered that and threw it in the oven and let all that flavors come together. And then at the end, when it was like done cooking, I did take the tinfoil off and let the top like brown a little bit, and served that with cut up lettuce and diced tomato. And like I said, my nephew really liked this. And it's always, any sort of Tex-Mex stuff is always a home run in our household. And with the combination of these two sauces, like, I know it doesn't look the prettiest, but it tastes delicious. So it is kind of like, I mean, this could be like a Christmas situation because it's red and green if you are into Christmas and celebrate that. So this last meal idea is truly like a one pan situation. So super easy. I have some ground sausage there that I'm browning. I'm browning it all the way through. And then once it's cooked, I remove that from that pan and just set it aside on some paper towels to like drain the grease. And in that same pan, I'm cooking cubed potatoes with onion and green pepper. And for seasonings, I added basil and Italian seasoning. When the potatoes were like most of the way cooked through, I'm adding that cooked sausage back in, and then marinara sauce. I just use a jar. At first, I added just a little bit, like probably a third of the jar, and then that was just not enough. So I ended up adding the entire jar. And then for seasonings, I added again more Italian seasoning, garlic, salt, and pepper. And then I just simply mixed that all together, covered it, and let it come up to like a simmer. The potatoes finish cooking, all the flavors come together. Once it had been simmering for a while and the potatoes were like cooked through, I did throw on some Italian shredded cheese, because what is a recipe that I make without cheese? And just put it in the oven just for a little bit to like have the cheese melt and stuff. But yeah, that's the one pan that I used, and that was nice. And I served that with a side salad, and like I said, my nephew he was like, oh my god, that was so good. And I didn't really see, like, it's all good flavors and stuff, but I didn't realize he would get so excited about it. Thank you so much for watching. Please come back for future videos.